So it's Thursday night and I'm on my way to the airport. I'm driving through the streets of Ciudad de Mexico, my home for the past 6 weeks or so, and as I drive through it, it's beautiful. There's the shutters down on the shops, there's these beautiful arched windows and wooden shutters that are locked as it's 10 past 9. And I guess I'm thinking about the 6 weeks I've had. It's been a strange, incredibly bizarre 6 weeks with promise and hope and excitement and failure and disappointment and all the good and bad of life squeezed into 6 weeks. For now, it's the end of Mexico City, and it's time to get on the plane, get to some warmer climates, some thicker air, and the beach for the next couple of days in Boca Chica. So good evening everybody, welcome to what might be my last, but is also my first podcast of sorts. I've thought about doing this for a couple of years now, travelling around, meeting people, I guess seeing some pretty interesting things, or things that I certainly never saw before. I've made voice notes to myself for potential future books and all this sort of thing for many years now, and I've always thought about maybe making them into a podcast of some sort, but as ever, time never allows it. I'm busy painting, busy travelling, busy meeting people, so the podcast has never quite happened. But anyway, here we are. We're going for it. Number one, welcome. Thanks for downloading, listening, or whatever it is you do. So I'm here right now in Boca Chica, just a few miles away from the main airport here in the Dominican Republic, near Santo Domingo, the capital city. And I just left Mexico last night. Had a good 6 weeks there, but very, very, very busy, working, meeting people, going to meetings. It was a different sort of trip compared to many that I've done before. A little bit of baseball, but to be honest, I kind of got pulled out of baseball a bit, and I was doing the horse racing and painting different speeches, different events, the NFL as well, which was really, really good. But I've got to say, I've really, really missed being in a ballpark and painting baseball. And this morning, after only a 4-hour flight, but it felt a lot longer as I could never sleep on planes, I landed in Santo Domingo, in Las Americas airport just here, and it feels really good to be back in the Dominican Republic. I was here for 4 months last winter, painting the Lidom, painting the Cerro del Caribe, and learning about this wonderful island here in the middle of the Caribbean. And as I say, it's fantastic to be back. I got off the plane, met Senor Luis, the driver that was assigned to me. When I first landed, I was working with an agency here, and I met Senor Luis. He came and picked me up this morning from the airport to bring me over to my small hotel here on the beachfront. And seeing him again after nearly a year, it was really, really cool. Him, I and another guy called Dominique travelled all around the island last year for the project that I was working on, and I was painting all the different levels of baseball here, from Vitia on the street, softball, to the Lidom finals, the Cerro del Caribe, the whole lot. So I spent a lot of time with him and Dominique, and yeah, we went to all corners of the island, so it was cool to be reunited with him this morning and just have a bit of a laugh. So that was good. And this evening, or today, I've slept a lot, getting over the flight, relaxing, unwinding. I can't believe how starkly different the atmosphere is here. It's not that far in terms of distance, but it definitely feels much more like the Caribbean, and the clouds are much bigger and taller and fluffier, but also more menacing. And the colours in the sky also have a lot more intensity to them. So it's nice to be here again, and I've got a few weeks of being here and enjoying this part of the world again and seeing what comes next. Boca Chica, where I am right now, its location is fantastic. It's so convenient from the airport, and also it's very near to the Major League Baseball academies that are based on the island here. And as I said before, it's just so great to be back in a country where baseball really is like the premier sport, and almost nothing else comes second. I've never been in a country where baseball means so much to people, and everybody's got a colour, everybody's got a team, and it really is the heart and soul of baseball, this place. So it's amazing to be back here and just feel that atmosphere straight away, getting off the plane, talking to the people, finding out which team they support, how they're doing, who they just beat or who they just lost against. And I can't wait to get back to one of the stadiums. So I'm hoping in the next few nights I'll be in Santo Domingo, so I'll get to Estadio Quisqueya, the big stadium there. Hopefully get to see a game and enjoy the atmosphere. The experience of watching baseball here is like nothing else. The noise is so loud, the excitement of the fans, the passion of the fans, and the style of play from the players as well. It's very flamboyant and very, in some respects, aggressive, but in a very, very, very exciting way, and just full-blooded way. There's no halves, and that's what I love about it here. It's pure enjoyment and pure gameplay. So yeah, I'm really excited to be back. Just as I look to my left, which is going to the east, the sun's setting over in the west. It's just about dipped under the horizon, and we've got these big clouds swelling up. It's nice grey, green, blue, fading into a peachy mauve, and then back into a more lilac kind of colour. And we've got the boats, little fishing boats and little pleasure boats just out on a small pier, from taking tourists around or for catching the local fish. And quickly we're moving on into the evening. Over to my right, to the west, I can see the docks where there's the big cranes which load up the tankers and load up the cargo ships. And the sea is this beautiful, just white colour, just starkly white colour, with these silhouettes of people swimming. There's a young boy there collecting water in bottles of Coke. And there's also a few boys on an inflatable swan, huge inflatable swan. There's a couple of boys and girls floating around on that in the water, enjoying the last bits of the day before we get into the night. I'm not really sure what the next few weeks here will bring, but on Monday night there's a big party for the project, a launch party for what I was here doing last winter, and it's been this moment that I've kind of been waiting for almost a year. I was here for 3 months on the project, and then an extra month doing some other work, and it's the biggest project I've ever done. It's the biggest thing I've ever been involved in, and it was an absolute honour and privilege to be involved in it, and the work created, I think, was fantastic, like absolutely incredible. So I'm really excited for Monday when the project's launched, and I can actually reveal a little bit more about it, show a little bit more of what I did, as I think there was glimpses on my social media, but certainly not the full thing. And I can't wait to show everybody out there what we did, how it looked, and a little bit more to do with the LIDOM and the Dominican Republic and its culture here. And then really it's a matter of what next. I've got to see this line of work that I've been pursuing. It's very relatively haphazard and relatively unknown, uncertain, but that's the joy of it and the beauty of it. But also, of course, it's got its downsides too. But I'm hoping from the launch, some more opportunities come along, some more projects to get involved in present themselves, and I just hope to continue what I'm doing and continue this journey. I was just floating in the sea before. I'd had some lunch and went for a swim in the water here, and it's absolutely beautifully warm. As the sun was setting, all the colours bouncing off the ripples of the water. And I was thinking about Steve Pinder, and Steve was a man I met in the Hall of Fame, strangely enough in the toilets of the Hall of Fame in 2019, when I finished doing my 30 ballpark journey, banging around all 30 ballparks in 2019 in that season. And I finished the journey at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And when I got to the Hall of Fame, I did a tour. And I was given a tour by this man named Steve. And I think it was the next day or later that day, I met him in the toilets. We said hello, and I told him what I was doing. We got into a conversation. And ever since, we've remained in contact. And he ran a charity called Roberto's Children, where they would send used baseball bats, catcher's gear, just used equipment from the States to other countries in the world to encourage the growth of baseball. And that was a wonderful thing that Steve did. And when I was here last year, I was meeting people who certainly needed balls, bats, anything really, gloves, the whole lot. And I've been in touch with Steve ever since I met him, but I found out only about a month ago that he'd died, and I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what the situation was, but it was really shocking to find that out, because when I was here last year, Steve set me up to go and meet some of his friends at an academy here, and I did some painting of his friends and portraits, and I just always really trusted him. He was one of the guys that when you're doing, I guess, what I do, you're travelling around so many places and travelling around so many people that you don't know who people are, you don't know the culture, you don't know what their intentions are necessarily. You've got to trust, but you've also got to be quite careful too. And Steve was one of the guys that I just always trusted and always believed and always had so much time for him. And to find out that he'd passed away was really devastating, in that he was really a bit of a guide and really a shining light in the contacts that I've made with baseball and friendships through Twitter and the places, the museums I've been and people I've met on the way. Steve was a real beacon of stability back in the States, where if I had a question, I could reach out to him, he'd reach out to me about things, and I really admired what he did and who he was as a man. He was a wonderful gentleman. So I'm hoping to go and see his friends in the next couple of weeks in Santo Domingo, and maybe they've already heard the news, but I hope to catch up with them, and I'm sure we'll talk about what a great guy Steve was and the amazing things that he did in his life. But as I was floating in the water there earlier, watching the beautiful sunset, I was reflecting on Steve and the privilege it was to have met him, to know him briefly in my limited way, and I was very thankful for that. So these sorts of things pop up, I guess. But anyway, a great guy. The sky is now to the west a yellowy, white, mauvey grey colour, and the silhouettes of the people in the water are just intensified. They're completely just shapes now, and the swan is just a shape. This majestic wings and beak bobbing around in the water with its passengers on board and splashing around it. And on my left, as I look out to the sea, we've got much more blues, darker purples over there as the night sets in. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there for today and tonight in this little recording. I'll see if I can work out how to put this all together. I've got no idea. Thankfully, Matt Mutton of the British Baseball Podcast, he gave me a few tips, so I'm going to get on that, remind myself what he told me, and see if I can figure it out and get this uploaded. And if you've made this far, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. How can I make it better? What have I done that's good? What would you want to hear more about? Give me some comments, give me some feedback. That'd be really helpful. I hope that what I do is, hopefully, number one, it's helpful for me and it helps me express what I'm doing and understand what I'm doing and understand where I am. But hopefully it builds a little bit of a communication and dialogue with other people wherever you are, and hopefully enjoy it. So thanks for listening. Hope wherever you are, you're safe and well and enjoying the sunset, and hopefully not too worried about England's chances to get through into the next stage of the World Cup. I'm sure we can do it, but let's see. Anyway, all for now. Cheers.